Here is another session from the series Defense Against Dark Act. We are focusing on developing the knowledge, awareness, mental readiness to prepare our own protection shields against these frauds and intruders. In this session, we'll be discussing about multiple scams that are linked to credit card info sharing. So, how generally the modus operandi goes? The fraudster usually establishes a communication channel with the uninformed people. They masquerade as company representative and develop a benefit scenario for the potential victim. And we'll get into the details of what kind of benefit scenarios are we really talking. Now, then it uses some breached data to make the whole scenario sound very authentic. Now, as a natural reaction, the people, responds with excitement. They anticipate prospect of certain gains, monetary gains, and they agree to provide prompt support to avail the benefit. And the fraudster asks to provide confidential info for verification purposes like card info, CVV, PIN, etc. I mean, they sometimes, you know, pose it like we want to return the money, we want to, credit the money in your card. So to credit it, we need all these information. This is how they kind of make it sound authentic. But of course, if you have dealt with such situations before, or if you have read through the guidelines that are typically provided with credit cards, debit cards, or any uh, online transaction mechanisms offered by financial institutes, these informations are never to be shared with anybody external. But in general, people, without being too mindful about it, acting in haste, they end up providing the info as asked and end up becoming a victim of a particular scam. Now, what kind of benefit scenarios we were talking about, right? So sometimes it's like they say, you have got a cashback on your card. You have made a transactions of this volume lately, and because of that, there is a cashback, and this cashback benefit is available only for a short period of time. You will have to apply for it. Or sometimes, they uh, get information about certain bill payments from your card, and they say that, okay, you know what, you have a discount on the bill payments, and this is the discount that is being offered currently, and there was a lottery draw which has picked your name for availing this discount, and this is only available for a short period of time, something along these lines. So this is how they develop the benefit scenarios. They associate sense of urgency with it. Sometimes it's a new feature on card, something extremely lucrative like free lounge access for all domestic travel, as many launch visit in a quarter as you need, or sometimes it's like activating an add-on card for free. Sometimes it's a discounted insurance. Sometimes many of these varieties of benefit scenarios they keep on developing based on certain data that they get from some sources. There has to be some breached source from where they got some information about you, your card, and your contact information. And then they get creative and they get creative to develop the scenarios, and they, try to lure the potential victim with these scenarios. Now, what would be a counter strategy for this? If you have dealt with situations, or if you are aware that these type of scams are going on, you will act in a much more responsible way. You will be the kind of informed people who could develop a counter strategy for these type of scams. So what you'll have to do really is that when you have received a call which has um, described a particular benefit for you with some data that made you look the benefit to be authentic, instead of responding in haste, you need to respond with level-headedness and clarity of thoughts to analyze the situation. This situation analysis is is going to give you a deeper insight of the benefit, deeper insight of the party who is offering you the benefit, and the legitimacy of this whole conversation. Now, uh, the moment the fraudster would uh, understand that you are kind of responding with much more maturity, they would try to convince you by offering some more proofs, and of course they will exert pressure to decide promptly on whether to take the benefit or not. And you will have to decide the next course of action uh, diligently at this point. And you need to communicate as much needed to decide the course of action. And you can consider breaking off this conversation for an offline validation. These are the situation analysis, diligence on deciding the course of actions. These are the important steps that could help yourself protect from becoming a victim. Now, there are some recommendations which could come handy for you if you are at all dealing with a situation like this. There is a Government of India initiative which is rolling out a set of 10-digit numbers for services and transactions related calls that would be initiated by the financial institutions, and telecom operators are in the process of rolling this out. These 10-digit numbers will always start with prefix 160. So if you are receiving a call which is not from one of these numbers starting with 160, you could very well be suspicious about it after it is rolled out. Of course, you will have to watch out for the announcement whenever it is getting rolled out, and that will be not too far from now. You will have to then onwards be mindful about the number from where you're receiving these calls. Now, there are a few other important points to be aware of. Uh, in general, while your online credit card transactions in India will always require OTP, uh, there are international payment gateways where an internationally activated credit card can be used for transactions without OTP. If the other party knows the credit card number, name, expiry date, and CVV. So what it means is that sometimes the fraudster might just try and convince you to provide your credit card details for their so-called uh, disbursement of the benefit, by sensing your reluctance, they might as well try and convince by saying that, okay, without the OTP, nobody can do anything with your card. You must be aware of it. But please be mindful that there are international payment gateways that might not be compliant to this second level of validations through OTP. So having all these info shared for your credit card, debit card, and particularly if those are activated for international use, it could be it could be a fatal blow for your financial freedom. So many a times credit card info sharing attack is also combined with other type of attacks like phishing attack, info stealing attack, sim cloning attack. Now such combination of attack creates a larger data breaches and more potential scam cases. So while the information itself could become a clear case of uh, international payment gateway scam, sometimes the information is also used for developing another scam scenario, and many a times it has also happened with people that um, people, somebody, the fraudster called back after several days and gave back those information to you, saying that, what, we are calling from the bank and we know all about your credit card details. Let me tell you what the credit card number is, what the expiry date is, what the CVV is. And by saying it to you, it has gained your confidence, and then it has made you perform transactions that essentially has led to a financial loss. So there are situations like that. They kind of use these um, benefits in a the breach that they create. They get different. They get creative and they develop different ways to benefit from these breaches. So in general, when you're dealing with a situation like this, the potential line of interactions, should be around assessing the genuineness of the scenario, should ask full details. Like, for example, if a particular benefit is being offered to you, you should ask, where in the company's website the benefit is listed, or where the details are available online. If those are not disclosed online, then why not? On which criteria the particular offer is being made to you? What are the specific details of the criteria? How does it satisfy for your case? If the offer has been selected by a different authority than the representative person, who is that authority, and how the concerned person department can be contacted to understand the details. Um, Questions like these will get you some information which you can, process for your benefit and understand the legitimacy of this, whole conversation that you might be having at that point. You need to ask about the details of the person as well. The person with whom you're having this conversation, the agency that he represents, whether he's from a contact center or from a different marketing company hired by the original financial institute, what kind of details are provided to them, what department branch they belong to from, the particular other company, things like that. So basically, if you have got these details of this particular scenario, of the particular parties that are involved in this, it should help you carrying out the situation analysis in smoother fashion. And one suggestion is that try and avoid app-based voice or video call. Take the call on mobile phone and record the conversation using call recording feature. That will be eventually helpful for you in the long run. And when it comes to deciding the next course of action, you must make payments only after offline validation. And if you're making the payment, you should make the payment only to officially accepted payment method and payment recipient. And you should check that out from the website of the particular financial institute. You should avoid, using your credit card, debit card, or any other online mode of transaction then and there without carrying out an offline validation. If you are making an NEFT or RTGS, make sure the account number is known to you as company's authentic account number. If you're making an UPI, make sure the UPI ID is company's authentic UPI ID as documented in their official website. If you're making a check-based payment, make sure you're writing the recipient's name correctly and as documented in the official website. And while referring company's website, make sure you're referring the website and not the fake one. If you want to have a more detailed understanding of how to recognize a particular website, the legitimacy of it, whether it's a real one or a fake one, there is a video content in this series which describes how to validate a website. You can take a look at it and you can get more understanding on the process that you can follow to validate. And last but not the least, if you are suspecting this to be a fraudulent communication, you should definitely submit the information to Government of India's Chakshu portal. The number that are being used to make the call, submit that number, submit the situation details, submit the reason for your suspicion, and there will be an independent validation that will be carried out by the respective departments on the same. All right, that's what we wanted to cover in this session. More recommendations and suggestions are going to be published soon. Stay tuned till then.